R8 drafters, I'm doing something that I haven't done for a little while in what I call a flash draft. So this is where I edit the footage of a draft, commentate over it, and kind of do the whole draft video, but in a tighter package, so it's a bit quicker to watch. If you like it, let us know. It has been a while since I've done one. I've recorded a couple of weeks ago, which is why I'm still in gold at this point. And if people like it, I'll do more. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into the draft. So here we are going to pack 1. It's a pretty bad rare. It's probably the worst rare in the set, as are Assembles of Titans, and, you know, I'm not going to be taking that. There's some good options here. Prayer of Bindings there. It's a really good removal spell. It's only got a single pit of mana, which is good. Dragon Whelp I'm not too high on. We've got Rulic Mons, Warren Chief, which I think is a good card, but I don't want to take something with 3 colour pips at this point, even if 2 of them are green. So that's why I go for the Prayer of Binding. In pack 2, we've got actually a good rare now. So we've got Squee. I think there's an uncommon missing here, so that could well be the Wingmantle Chaplain. I think that's the only thing I would probably take in the uncommons over Squee. It's pretty good. Also got Hill and Battle Hymn here, which is a potential pickup, but I think Squee is definitely the choice. There's a couple of lands in there. There's a Flowstone Infusion, but Squee, 3 mana, 2/2 haste. When it attacks, create a 1/1 Goblin. I think the Goblin's attacking as well, and you can also bring it back later because Squee can keep coming back. Next pack, we've got Rare Land. It's not very interesting. I don't think the rare lands are particularly good. We do have the Root Waller, which is a really, really good card. Probably one of the best green commons. If, well, maybe its Bite Down's a bit better than Root Waller. But I think it's one that I quite like. Balduvian Atrocity here as well. I'm not a big fan. Well, I'm not that I'm not a big fan of it. I've just never really played it. It's not on the same par as a lot of the other uncommons are. So I took the Smothering Root Waller here because it's a really good start for any green deck. I'm in 3 separate colours now, but that's not the end of the world. Next pack, we do have a dual land. We've got a couple other things as well. Nothing major. We've got a Flowstone Carvu, which I'm not particularly bothered about. If I was definitely in red, I would probably go for it here. Giant's Firenado as well is alright, but Essence Scatter is a really good card. I don't have any blue at this point, so I think looking at what I've got 3 good cards and 3 good colours. I've got a dual land here, which is in 2 of those cards, and that's pretty much what I want to go for. Another one, you got a Slimefoot Survey here, which I think is just kind of rubbish. You know, it's not a very good card. Coming in this pack though, we've got some really good stuff in green particularly. So we've got the Yavimaya Ironclast here, which is a really good green-red card. I'm looking at that might be a quite good pick here. We've also got Nail, I think it is. But I spot the Bite Down as well. So the Bite Down is a really solid removal spell. I probably torn between that and the Ironclast, but you know, I went for it this way. This next pack, we've got Strength of the Coalition, which is what I ended up going for. Potentially looking back, it should have been a Smothering Root Waller. I think that's what I was torn between here. The Hexbane Turtle's okay, but the Smothering Root Waller is definitely better than the Turtle. Strength of Coalition is a pretty good one of, I would say. It's a pretty good combat trick if you can kick it, and you often can. Here, we've got Fire's Victory, which is a potential removal spell we could take, and it's pretty good. I think other people pick it higher than I do. I think I should maybe pick it a little bit higher. I don't end up in blue-red spells very often. And I think it's a lot better there. But I go for the land. I've got green stuff, I've got white stuff, I've got red stuff. A green-white land is where I want to be. And there's not really much else going on. This pack, I go for the Fixin'. It's a good fixer. It's really good with the Bite Down because it can take out anything with Bite Down. Looking like I might want to be a bit of a multicolored deck. So that's pretty good. Back to pack 1 again. Go for the Dragon Whelp here. It's not really doing very much. It's getting, you know, pretty... I think it's an alright card, but it's not what I go for. Flowstone Infusion, on the other hand, is a lot better. It's effectively a shock for creatures, and you know that does a lot. Also, a decent pump spell when you need it to be. Furious Bellow is a good pump spell. You got Balduvian Atrocity. I think I went for Balduvian Atrocity just to try it out if I got the chance. Slimefoot Survey just because it was there. It's an uncommon building up that vault progress. Really happy that Yavimaya Ironclast came back round here. That's a really good pickup at this point in the pack, and it really shows that green's going to be open. And the Hexbane Turtle's pretty solid as well. So all in all, looking quite good so far. This next pack, Defiler of Dreams, looks... Yeah, I should probably have gone for it here. Even though I'm not in blue at all yet, I think it is just good enough to play. I could have just played Team. I could take the white out. I could play a 4-colour. The double pip really did put us off. But again, looking back, knowing the format a little bit better now, should have went for Defiler of Dreams. I was torn between the Sprouting Goblin and the Yavimaya Ironclast here. I think I went for the Sprouting Goblin, but I shouldn't. I think it should be Defiler of Dreams first, and then the Yavimaya Ironclast. Sprouting Goblin's pretty good. And I was really gutted when I got the next pack as well, because there was another Sprouting Goblin in the next pack, and if I'd known that, I would have probably went for the Yavimaya Ironclast. But the other good cards in this pack, though, I've got this Sacred Peaks. You've got Colossal Growth, which is a really good card. I think, again, probably should have taken a Colossal Growth here. I didn't spot it. I know how good it is, but it is really good. Here, Rada's in the pack. It's a pretty easy Rada, although Bite Down does have a chance in. But, you know, when I'm already looking at 3 basic land types minimum in my deck, Rada's a really, really good pickup. Pretty good with the Hexbane Tortoise, I found, as well. So you can tap Rada to the Hexbane Tortoise and attack in with a huge creature because you get the tap ability from Rada. It doesn't have to attack. Got a couple of decent white cards here, and I've already picked up some white stuff, but second Root Wall is pretty good. Here, there's not a huge amount going on. There's a Bog Badger, which if I'd had a black land at this point, I probably would have went for. There's another Strength of the Coalition. I don't want the double white and Queen Eleanor, so go for the Strength of the Coalition. But you can see, Bog Badger, it's really, really good. At the minute, it's just a 3-mana 3/3, but here we go, we've got a black land here. Also got a Urborg Repossession, which is pretty solid, to be honest. I don't have any black so far, but I think I just pick up the green-black land here because it gets another land type in. There's some decent black stuff going around, and sometimes it can... Oh, no, I went for the Molten Monstrosity. It could have went either way. That's where I go for the green-black land. So, and you get 3 green-black lands in a row. Got the Colossal Growth round. Also got the Nebraska Brawler, which I was happy to see. I was definitely going for the Nebraska Brawler, but I was disappointed to leave the Colossal Growth at this point. But pick 8 Colossal Growth is incorrect, if you ask me. Here, not very much going on. Go for the Deathman Gardener again. It's a fine card. It does what I wanted to do. Viation of Branch Rider, I think it's better than the green 4/6, the Yevamaya Sujana. I think it's just the worst of that cycle. Another Strength of the Coalition. Pick it up. Pick up a Strength of the Coalition, and not very much happens towards the end of this pack as far as I remember. So, looking all right. The curve's looking quite good. A lot of 2-drops. Oh, we get the Bog Badger back right. Yeah, we get the Bog Badger back round. It's a pretty good card. And then pack 3, we got this Angel of Wrath. Now, I already said double pipped cards are a bit problematic. I think the black and the red are both possible here. Obviously, red's definitely possible. We've got 1 black card already. Bite Down's probably the other option. And Line Rate to bail off. I've heard it's not as good as it looks. I've not really played with it yet, but yeah, I went for the Archangel and just kind of looking to pick up any white lands I can. Here, you got a rare land, but it's not a white one and it doesn't have the basic land types, so after picking that Archangel up, the Sacred Peaks was pretty easy. There wasn't much else going on in the pack. We've got a Zur here, which is just not great. We've got a few good green creatures, but I think I'll just go for another land here because I've got a green, white, and red, white lands. So again, oh no, I've got a Colossal Growth. I'm pretty sure pick up the Colossal Growth. I didn't spot that because where the preview cards were. So this pack, not as interesting. Could have went for the Relic of Legends. I think I'd go for the Worm. It's just, you know, a solid big beater. I don't have much at the 5-drop slot. And, you know, I think that it is a solid card. I mean, especially when you get a couple of bite downs, they double block it with 2, like a 3/3 and a 2/2. You punch the 3/3, kill the 2/2, trap them over some damage. Get another bite down here. The dual lands don't really do a huge amount of what we want to do. We've got blue-white, which does nothing. We've got was a blue-black as well, which doesn't do a huge amount. Territorial Morrow. I do kind of want to pick up some more lands here. I think it's the lands are a bit tight, but Territorial Morrow is fine. It's a decent beater. I like it when you can recur it a lot, so it feels like another one. It basically feels like the green version of the Monstrosity cycle, the Necromass and Monstrosity and all those things. I think more than the Sujana does. Here, could go for a third Sacred Peaks or another Root Waller. Third Sacred Peaks or third Root Waller. I would have preferred like a green-white land instead of a red-white land, or maybe even black-white at this point. But you know, I was going to take it because I do need those lands. Also, the deck's pretty there's good cards in. I'm having to make the cuts already. Slamfoot Server definitely comes out there. It's awful. And here, Tatiova is pretty cool. I don't need blue lands, but if I could pick up 1 blue tap land which cares about another one of my relevant colours, I would have definitely played it. Wasn't sure it was going to come around. I couldn't remember what I'd already taken from there. And then the back end of this pack, again, doesn't do a huge amount. Take the Scatter Wilderness, I think, here, just because I might decide that I want... Oh, no, I go for the uncommon just for bold progress. Got another tap land. Pretty good. Hydromancer on the side, just in case I get a blue land, but I don't think I do. And yeah, the end of the pack, there's nothing really of any consequence here. So, we've got the separated by creatures. We have a pretty good deck, to be honest. It's looking really good. I'm pretty happy with where we are. Slimefoot Survey comes out as quite an easy cut. What else do I take out from here? Again, do I take out Strength of the Coalition? I can't remember if I take out one of those. But I'm pretty happy with where it is. We've got the Archangel of Wrath in white. We've got a decent amount of white lands. We've got the Deathmoon Gardener to help with that. So, I can use the Deathmoon Gardener to help get the Angel of Wrath out. I can get it out in turn 5 with the double shock effect. So that's pretty good. And yeah, it's like looking pretty solid. It's got some good beaters at the top end. It's got some good early game action. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drop creatures there. I got a 1-drop creature. The Yavimaya Ironclast is a good 3-drop creature as well. And it's definitely going with a plan. So yeah, let's see how the games go. Okay, going to round 1 against J High 5, I think it is. So got a good amount of colours here. We've got all tap lands. We've got a Sprouting Goblin on 2. We've got Hexbane Tortoise on 3, Radar on 4, and then the Worm on 5, just drawn into the Angel of Wrath. So where I might have thought, I could play this Sprouting Goblin on 2 here. Definitely want to try and get it out with the kicker cost and get the white mana for Archangel of Wrath, and then I've got 2 white sources, so I'm pretty happy about that. Happy to go for the tap land here. I've got Hexbane Tortoise I can play next turn. I can happily trade away the Sprouting Goblin if I need to. I don't mind that. It's just going to help us get to the Angel of Wrath. They play Yavimaya Steel Shaper. I've got the Radiant Grove here. I can go for Radar here instead. So I can play 4. And then, so I'll go for the Hexbane Tortoise and I can leave up the Flowstone Infusion for this Steel Shaper. And then next turn I can tap land and play Radar, and that's a pretty good way to do it, I think. If I get an untapped land, I can also play the Elfheim Worm next time, but yeah, looking pretty good. Happy to use the Flowstone Infusion here. Maybe could have let them attack and then I'll block and then see what happens. But now I'm a little bit worried about my Archangel Wrath and playing it into a Essence Scatter. They obviously didn't have one there. But coming up, that could be a little bit of a problem. They got the Outrider. It's only doing 2 damage to me. I can now that I've got I've got 4 types of land, so enlisting the Radar's pretty good here. So I get I can't even do the math in my head. 10-6. So yeah, a 10-6 attack and don't want to block that. That's pretty good. Happy to play the Elfheim Worm because I can use the Archangel of Wrath to hit them in the face, and I do have red and black now as well, so that's pretty good. So they probably aren't expecting 4 damage straight to the face here, so that's why I'm generally just happy to attack through. Enlist again. I'd rather leave the Radar for another attack if need be, if the worst happens, but I can't really see a way I'm going to lose here. Get to use the Radar to pump up the Trampler, so that's another good point here. They've got to trade away something bad for something good for the Tortoise here, and I'm happy to trade their 5-drop for the Tortoise. Getting the full damage, they're down to 3, and all I need to do now is cast the Archangel of the Wrath kicker to make them feel really salty, and I would probably hate to be in their position right now. Boom, done. Round 2 starting against Wizard of Nuzzle. Nuzzle? Bit of a weird way to say that. Here, we've got Root Waller, we've got Yavimaya Ironclast, we can play on 3, we've got the Bite Down. We've only got red and green mana, but that's probably pretty fine with what we've got in the hand. You know, we're going to leave the Bite Down up. We can have the Root Waller. We've got a Prayer of Binding. We need white mana for that. So kind of wanting to get some colours now, I think. Or at least get something to play with the red and green stuff that we've got. But going into the Yavimaya Ironclast next turn feels pretty good. They're attacking, so, you know, we're happy to attack into most things that they're probably going to play in red-white. There's not many 3 toughness things at 3 from what I can remember. They could have the Flash thing, which makes 2 1/1s. They could have Combat Tricks or, you know, pump spells and things like that. Combat Tricks or removal spells. So, you know, there's things that they could have, but happy to attack through. They obviously don't have anything, so struggling a bit. Red-white, you do want to kind of curve out. Not having any more 2s or 3s is going to be a bit tough for them. We've got the Elfheim Worm now in hand. We've got the Bite Down we can use next turn. We're going to be potentially pretty good with the Ironclast. They might want to block that, but we can play a land. We can leave up the pump on the Root Waller, and we can also leave up the Bite Down if they play a creature, and I'll, you know, try to do something a bit tricksy here. Drawn a black-green land. Probably should have held onto that because then I could hold up the activation on the Root Waller, but I haven't done anything much so far, and I do kind of want to get the Elfheim Worm down next turn. They really are struggling here. You know, 5 mana now? What they've got the... Yeah, that's not going to do a huge amount here. We've got the Bite Down. I can't remember how I play this next one. Oh yeah, I do know, because we've still got the Bite Down in hand, so I can use the Ironclast to punch the uncommon that they've got, that Legend. It's pretty good. I've rarely seen it actually work. Here, play the 5th land, attack in, play the Elfheim Worm, and I've now got the white in hand, so if I really need to, I can use a Prayer of Binding, but feeling pretty good about where we are. Next turn, I can very least Prayer of Binding. Very least play the tap land. I can pump the Root Waller. I had 8 trampling damage, but now they've taken out that, but it means that they can't do anything else this turn. Happy to attack with both of these things. Pump the Root Waller, potentially get in for 2 trample damage with the Ironclast, and that would actually kill them. because we're going to play the white land as well. So that leaves, we've got 4 basic land types, so we're making it a 6/6 and trampling over for 2. So they would have been dead either way. They've really got to block the root waller here. They would trade badly, but at least they would survive. I don't think they spotted the lethal there. So yeah, I don't think it was the most experienced player, but happy with that win. Going to round 3, we're against Fennis 90 here. So start with a pretty good hand. We've got the tap land, which I can play consequence free on turn 1, and then we've got a couple of green mana. So we've got 3 colours of mana straight away. Root Waller on 2, Squee on 3, potentially the Deathmoon Gardener on 3, and then Elfhame Worm on 4 if we really wanted to. But pretty happy to play it out the way we get it. We've got a tapped black-red land there, so we've got all 4 colours already, all 4 basic land types as well. And I do make a little bit of misplay here. I don't realise that Squee has haste, so I don't play it out. I could have played that. I would have attacked them. It would have made a 1/1, but I would have gone for another 2 damage. And, you know, they probably would have blocked the 1/1, but that's absolutely fine. You can see an oops here as I realise my mistake. They Flowstone Infusion the Squee, which is a little bit annoying, but, you know, I'm happy to get that out of the way. Play the Rada's Firebrand. I can take that out quite happily next turn because I draw into the Bite Down. I can play the tap land, play the Bite Down, and then next turn I've got the Elfhame Worm in a pretty good position there. So Bite Down the rare, I didn't really want to get it in. It can potentially do a lot of damage if they have some combat tricks or something. I was going to be in a real bad way, so I was happy just to take the damage off the board. Throw the possibility, so that could have been a bit of a problem. They could play that, they could play another, like a pump spell or something, and then I think I would have been in a really bad way. So pretty pleased I took out that 3/1. Maybe it's not the exact right choice. Attack in, allow them to potentially try and shock it, but then I can pump it up. Play the Gardener and keep the Flowstone Infusion. So what I'm hoping here is that play a pump spell or something like that on the Amplifier, and then I can use the Flowstone Infusion. They do. They tap down my Deathmoon Gardener. That's fine. I'm not too bothered about that. They're just trying to get a blocker out of the way, so they're really trying for a big attack here, which is why I'm pleased I got the Flowstone Infusion. See what to do. They attack in. And then as they're attacking in, I Flowstone Infusion, hoping they don't have something with pumps toughness, but they probably just have something which is going to pump the power, or maybe it's just a cantrip of some sort. Here, happy to attack in, play the Elfhame Worm, got the Prayer and Binding in hand for if they play a problem next turn, so I'll be able to still get in for another 7 next turn. Regardless, got to Squee in the bin. Yeah, so here, the Mindsinger. Really a bit annoying that it's being played out, but it's fine. So Prayer of Binding, take out the Mindsinger. It is a pretty big blowout here for them, and yeah, you can see that this scoops straight away. So pretty good, 3-1, 3-0 so far, and feeling pretty good about the deck. Going to round 5, so we are 3-1. We had a pretty brutal loss there. This is a pretty good hand though. We've got the Flowstone Infusion. I can play the Mountain first, hold up the Flowstone Infusion if they manage to get something out that I don't really want, but probably want to hold it for a little bit. We've got the Brawler, which is a 2/3 tramp at the very base. If I get some dual lands out, it's looking even better. And yeah, really good start of a beatdown deck, which is what these red-green decks want to do. This was my first red-green deck of the format, and I was preparing for the qualifier at the time, just to see kind of some different styles of decks I hadn't played. I played a lot of red, white, and black, white at this point. Things that, you know, aren't great decks in the format. They're all right. You can definitely win with them, and you know, if it's open, then that's what you want to be. But I hadn't really ventured into domain decks just because it hadn't came up. Here, still could do with another land type, but between the Brawler and the Rada, I'm feeling pretty good. Opponent gets a second colour, which is good for them. Runic Shot's quite good for them as well. I don't get the Pump Rada with its own ability, but I've got the Marrow. I can make it a 4/4, and then I can attack and make it a 6/6. Not feeling great, to be honest, but yeah, I think it's fine. Play the Marrow out, use the mana. Next turn I might get another 3-drop, so I can play the Hexbane Tortoise and something else. But yeah, just a basically boring 4/4 is not great here. However, I do get a good 3-drop here in Squee. Means I can attack through with the team. They could have a counter, having a bit of a think about what to do. They don't counter it, which is a good place to be. I think I pump the Squee here, so oh no, I don't, because they tap both of them. But yeah, so I can attack for 3. I'm still feeling quite good. I've still got the Hexbane Turtle here, so I've got potentially good attacks next turn. They do have a lot of mana and a lot of cards, so they can potentially do something. The 2 Drakes is pretty good, but the Prayer Bindings... oh no, can't cast Prayer Binding. Spoiler for in a little bit. I do manage to cast the Prayer Binding, but Enlisting Tortoise here is really good. They've got a double block, and I'm happy to trade their 2 3 drops for my 1 free drop here, and then next turn I get to untap and have the rest of the stuff going on as well. So pretty happy with that attack. I didn't really want to throw the Radar away, which is probably what I would have done if I just attacked with both. They play the Phalanx, but I can attack through. They got to either trade with the Marrow or the Squee. They probably want to do that. They probably don't want to block the Radar because I get in for 9 and they're down to 1. But it's a pretty tough block. You can see them thinking about it here. I do think they changed their mind from what I remember. So yeah, you can see that they're changing their mind. They're having a real think, but they're in a really tough spot with me just being able to attack in and choose what I pump. Obviously, some people might have the block the 3/3, but that leaves me with the other cards here. Leave my forest in case somehow make me discard a card. But yeah, I'm feeling good at this point. They get a Frost Fist Strider. Deathwind Gardener, it's potentially a good attacker. It's something that they don't want to block. I only need to take 1 damage off them, but I've also got a Prayer of Binding in there, so I can take out one of their blockers with the white from Deathwind Gardener. They play a creature or 2, just getting a few blockers out. It's feeling like they might be trying to stabilize, but I'm still in a pretty good position. They don't want to attack here because I can just block with the Gardener, but I probably wouldn't block anyway because I want to keep the white mana up for Prayer of Binding. And then, they scoop anyway because they realise they're dead. There's no way they can win here. Winner, winner. Round 6 now. So against Esquimaux. Got pretty good mana here, to be honest. You can play the tap land, the green-black tap land, play the mountain, play the Root Waller, and then hopefully we've got another untapped land there. So I can play the Root Waller. We've done this before. Play the Root Waller, kick the Yavimaya Ironclast, and then get in for a lot of damage. They're stuck on 2 lands, which I'm happy about with a very big beatdown deck here. Next turn, if I get an untapped land, I can play Radar. If I don't, I can play the Peaks and play the Tortoise. So that's, feeling like it's in a good position. Still haven't seen much of the Angel yet, so I'm winning even without that bomb, but it is looking pretty good. You see here, I'm having a little bit of a think which way is the best way to go. I think there's definitely an argument I could have played the tap land here. Played the basic land here and then just left the Root Waller able to pump if they had something going on there, but they did stall for time without the kick, so that means that they get to untap next turn. They've just got this wall. You can probably guess what might be coming with walls. It's they've got white, blue and black here, so yeah, but I'm on the beat down. I think even if they do go off here, I'm in a pretty good position. I've got the Colossal Growth in hand. I've got the Deathbloom Gardener as well, and yeah, we'll go Shield Wall Sentinel. But I think at this point I know that I've won with what I've got. I can, if I don't get an untapped land, but yeah, so I can attack through. They block something, and I've got an extra 4 damage in my pocket. So yeah, pretty happy with how this one turned out. Maybe an argument to go for the Hexbane Turtle here, but I don't think there's anything they could have done that they could have targeted to get rid of something. So yeah, pretty happy with that one as well. Always nice to beat the Defender decks. Okay, round 5, and it's round 5. I think I've already recorded round 6 because I've missed this one out a little bit, but it's never mind. It'll all be fine. So decent starting hand here. You've got 3 colours. You've got a good combination of cards. I think play the Ironclast and then the Sprouting Goblin. I think is the way to play it because I didn't get my second land. So yeah, that's what I do. 3/2 Trampler is still absolutely fine here, and then I can Sprouting Goblin to get the extra land. And yeah, that seems like a good way to start there. Start with a 2/1, comes back. I don't really want to trade with that, but I suppose it gets attack into it and trample over. Got a Territorial Marrow, makes the Sprouting Goblin even better because I can get the bite down. A little bit tough, but never mind. But yeah, Sprouting Goblin, I'm fairly happy to trade that with the Cult Conscript as well, I think. I can use it to get a tap land to get the colours I want. So I've got red, white, and green. Don't have a blue-black tap land, but yeah, still happy to get green-black tap land, get the second green, get the black there as well. Territorial Marrow is going to be a 8/8, which, yeah, great. Happy with that. Opponent swinging again. Don't want to block it because it does get us, I'm trading off. They might have something. Happy to attack in, really. So yeah, play the Sprouting Goblin, kick it again, get another land out of the deck, thin the deck a little bit. That'll have 6 lands out the deck. So yeah, that's kind of where I want to be. Get the untapped land because I've got a tapped land in hand, but I want the untapped land so I can play the Territorial Morrow. Urg's a little bit annoying here, but I can attack into it quite happily. Getting more lands, but I've got the Sprouting Goblins, so I can play the tap lands and also sacrifice them. So I don't mind overdrawing lands with the Sprouting Goblins, but it's still not great. Extinguished Light's a little bit annoying here, getting rid of the nice big chunker there. Getting out 12 life, which isn't fantastic, to be honest. Do have the opportunity to double spell here, but just going to attack in. 12 to 14 doesn't feel too bad, but it's not great either, let's be honest. This at least stops attacking in if they manage to get some lands in the graveyard, but they have a good couple of cards. The Knight's really annoying, I've found. The Colossal Growth is great here, I think. It can allow us to attack through, but I would much prefer to have a big creature on. I mean, if I manage to stick that the Territorial Morrow, I'd be in a really good position here with the Colossal Growth because I can trample over for a lot of damage, and if they try to do a big block where, you know, the block with a number of things, then I would have been in a good position, but unfortunately I wasn't. I can just kind of keep sacking some lands here to draw some extra cards. So you can see that. Elfhame Worm's great. It's a good card to have with that Colossal Growth. So play it out. I do have mana for the Colossal Growth as well, or I can just sack some lands to draw some cards. Looks like they got a removal spell. Yep, another Extinguished Light. I don't think I play enough of that, or maybe I just don't see it. Maybe other people take it a lot higher than I do, but I rarely end up with those in my deck for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Suppose I had a bit of a think, not attacking through. Mossbeard Ancient is a pretty difficult card to deal with right now, I think. Gets them the life back, which I really didn't want. Squee is good, but it's not going to be doing very much here. They've obviously got this Mossbeard Ancient as well. I can still quite happily sack some lands to draw some cards. Am I flooding? I'm kind of flooding a little bit. They attack in. I double block because the Deathbloom Gardener will allow me to kill it, regardless of whatever they do to it, unless they give it indestructible with the +1/+1 counter indestructible haste thing, indestructible lifelink thing. But manage to kill it. They get a scry, which, yeah, a little bit annoying. I've still got a Deathbloom Gardener up, so I can kill Mossbloom Ancient. Another land. I don't think I'm flooding too hard. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in hand and 2 or 3 in the graveyard. So yeah, actually I've got quite a few. I've drawn quite a few more lands, which is a little bit frustrating. Another big chunk of which is going to be a bit of a problem. Trying to draw in some gas. Removal spell would be great here. I've got the Death Toucher as well, which definitely helps with that. Bog Badger isn't exactly what I want. Another land definitely isn't exactly what I want. Do have the opportunity to pump the Root Waller. I don't think I know I could pump it with its own ability and then Colossal Growth and take something out. Might wait to see if they attack in for that. It is potentially a 7/7. So block with Root Waller. Try to pump it. And they have Strength of the Coalition. So this is an annoying card right now, I think. I can cast Colossal Growth. Don't need to kick it, because the +3/+3 is going to be enough for it to survive. But +1/+1 counters on all their other things is pretty... It's not like impossible to deal with, but it's pretty good with the board state as it is at the minute. Sack a land, try and draw another card. Got our own Strength of the Coalition, which is pretty great, to be honest. Happy to cast the Molten Monstrosity. Yeah, cast them. Come on. I know I cast that Molten Monstrosity. So yeah, I cast it. I can leave up... Well, no, I don't really leave up Strength of the Coalition. I can cast it as is, but I can't kick it, and I really want to kick it in this situation, I think. Linebreaker Bailoff is another big chunk of which, you know, there's only so many I can deal with this, I think. Draw another land. Didn't want to sack a land that time. I think I was running low on the lands that were actually on the battlefield, but swinging with Molten Monstrosity, whatever the block with, I can kill it with the Strength of the Coalition, I think. Yeah, so kill it with the Strength of the Coalition, kick it, get everything else +1/+1, and again, fairly happy to make that trade with the counters on the rest of my stuff. Opponent, Erg as well. They've done really well off the Erg draws. I don't think they've actually had to put anything in the bin yet. The Aaron's annoying as well. Plenty of things that they're happy to sack. The Cult Conscript with Aaron is frustrating. I've got to at least double block here, but I can just use the Root Waller, pump it, and then it's going to trade, so I'm going to lose it. Obviously, Bite Down's annoying. So, yeah, you know, they are drawn really well here. I'm drawn really badly, but it's the way it goes sometimes, let's be honest. Draw another land, draw another land. You can kind of see how this is going right now. Sacrifice a land, see how I'm drawn to something at least. Hexbane Tortoise isn't horrendous, but it's also not great, is it, really? Let's be honest. They're at 19 life now, so I think I'm quite a way away from being able to do something with Bog Badger and like sneak in for a bit of menace and damage. They've been the Land of War Speaker. I think it's still quite a good card. Maybe they're just hoping for something better. Double block here. I can get Squee back, which is part of the reason why I'm double blocking. Of course, they sack to put counters on things. I still can trade off here. Because it dies, they can play the Cult Conscript again. Prayer of Binding is pretty good. It's a really, really good draw here. I think I've got to take out the Aaron. So it's between the Aaron and the Erg, but I think the Aaron is just going to get too much value with what they're doing. I can get the Squee out, exile a load of things. They don't have any massive trunkers anymore, which is quite good. Can't really attack in here, but I can chump with the Squee a lot. I've got I've got quite a few things in the bin now that I can chump with. I don't really have much ways to get things back, but King Darien again, annoying. There's not a huge amount I can do. Trade off the Cult Conscript. They get a Scry. They also get the Erg thing next turn. And they're just getting way too much value for us to deal with here. Bite Down helps. I can Bite Down with the Death Toucher. So if they have a pump spell in hand, they can't protect it. They can give it indestructible potentially, but they don't. So here you get the Scry again. Yeah, so I mean they're just getting all of the value here. Get another Squee out. I can't attack in with it. Get a 1/1, which they can block, or they don't have to block. And then play the Bog Badger, because I'm quite happy to have a 3/3 out here to help with the blocks and things like that. Griffin Protector, a flyer threat isn't what I wanted to see here. Got the Root Waller, which is good, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Try and sack a land to see if I can get something useful. Don't like another land. And I'm not sure how many lands I've got through here, but I must have like 2 or 3 lands left in that library, and I would say 15 cards or something. So I was really, really flooding. And they've got this Griffin Protector. It's a really good threat now. Bortuk Bone Rattle is just, I mean, that's going to be totally the end of the game now. They get the Darien back. You get the Darien back? Yeah. I mean, they get the Darien back. They get everything +1/+1. The Griffin Protector gets +2/2, +3/3 even. So it's 5 in the end. Yeah, I was very, very dead. Okay, round 7. And I am against Fu Manchu, 1986. So, yeah, that's probably a 1986 born reference there with Fu Manchu. 2 lands to start with. All I need is 1 land to be a decent hand here. I've got the Sprouting Goblin, which you can play on, so I don't really want to. Don't draw a land. Hold on to the Sprouting Goblins, because I kind of want to use them to draw the lands. Hopefully get an untapped land next turn. If we get a tap land, probably play a 2-drop, and then play the Deathmoon Gardener in 3. Nishoba Brawler is, yeah, really good card for them to be drawn. I don't get another land. I do get a 1-drop, which I can play. It helps block a little bit, but they've got a 3-mana 3/3 trample on turn 2, which is very good, and it can grow to be a bit more. There we go, 4/3. Definitely not blocking that. Oh, apparently I do. Oh yeah, because I've got the Strength of the Coalition, so I can trade here. So yeah, happy to make that trade. Bit of a 2-for-1, but I do need to kind of hold my line. Sprouting Goblin now online with the kicker, so I can get something out my library to get stuff on board. Get more lands that I really, really need here. Don't have any white sources yet. so go for a white source. Kind of want green as well, I think. Just I've got 2 red. I only have 1 green at the minute, so that's what the reason behind that. Opponent having a bit of a think. Scout the Wilderness is quite good for them here. Probably won't attack because I don't want to trade. Do get another land there. Having a think between what I want. Attack in, offer them the trade, and then play the Deathwind Gardener. Probably fairly happily trade that with the Root Waller. I think the Root Waller can do too much here. Solkanar is something to deal with. Don't really want to kill it in case they, they don't manage to do anything with it, and I can gain control of it, and then I can get the use out of it. So they've already got some value out of it. They've only got 2 more turns worth of value they can get out of it, and then it comes to me, and I don't really want to trade with it, even though they've probably got a plan for that. Either sacrifice it or bounce it back to the hand. Stall for time. Bit annoying, but they are getting in for some damage here. Draw the card. My things are still tapped. I can still kick this. I can play a land, and then I can play the other 3-drop. There we go. Don't really need tap lands here, and I wasn't going to play one then. But again, kind of flooding a little bit. Opponent having a little bit of a think. I have cut out a lot of the thinking time out of these. Again, let us know if you like this format, if you've watched this far. I'm assuming you do. Maybe I can speed things up a little bit more than I am. If I'm going too fast, let us know that as well. But I did try cut out a lot of the thinking time that opponents did, and a bit of the thinking time that I did as well. But you can see there's still a little bit left in here. Shali's Acolyte is a massive flyer. Yeah, very annoying. And I am pretty dead. So you see sacrifice a land, trying to dig for something useful, but Bog Badger isn't what I need. So I can Bog Badger, get everything menace, attack in, but they can block what they need to. And yeah, like I say, dead, 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 dead. So taking a look at the deck, pretty happy with how it turned out. I don't play a lot of Territorial Morrows for whatever reason. I know they are quite good, but I tend to go for other things. Did what I wanted to do. It was definitely a Gruul Stompy deck. Had some good white splashes. The Archangel of Wrath was good when I got it out. I think I never was really struggling for mana with it, so that was definitely a positive. I really like the pump spells in this type style of deck. Has been a little while since I put it together. Since from now, I think I put it together about 2 weeks ago, and I've grown to like this a lot more. I think this is the first time I played Gruul Stompy, but yeah, really happy with how it turned out. If you like the video, obviously subscribe, like it by clicking the little thumbs up, and comment below. Let us know what you think. I do enjoy putting these together. I think it's a nice, different way to do a draft video. And yeah, anyway, catch you again, and thanks for watching.